Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at crackedfemalecode.com. Alright, so today's video is going to be about blowing out a belief that you have had probably your whole life. The reason why you had it is because it's the way the male is designed, but not the way the female is designed. And that's the good news for you, because if you're not a good looking guy, if you're not tall, if you're not rich, then thank God for this. Alright, so before we start talking about that, what I want to talk about is this. Right now, number one, it is summer in California and it is absolutely beautiful. I live just off the coast, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes north of San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. The reason why I'm saying this is because when a lot of guys come out here to do their one-on-one coaching or small groups, what they'll usually do is leave a day or two to go visit Napa Valley, which is literally 35 minutes away. That's where I'm from, so if you want to take a tour, I'd be glad to take you up there. Also, San Francisco's 15 minutes, tons of Thai restaurants, you've got the clubs, you've got pretty much everything. So the Matrix now is called the White Rabbit. Again, just like the movie, Follow the White Rabbit. Alright, so we got tons of restaurants here in Marin County where I live. Marin County is a very, very wealthy. I think it's the 5th richest county in the country. So we've got tons of fish restaurants. Obviously, San Francisco has. Now, when I say fish restaurants, we got really, really nice ones. So, okay, we also have Sausalito. That's 10 minutes south of me, about 2 minutes from the Golden Gate Bridge. It's the last city before San Francisco. They have a lot of fish restaurants, fine dining restaurants, etc. We also have Stinson Beach. We can go there. You have deep sea diving. You have, oh God, you can go to that I want to say the Canaris Islands off the Golden Gate Bridge. I think it's about 5 miles out. You can rent a boat to go out there to watch the sharks feed, which I think is kind of gruesome. You can rent a boat, those big boats where you go out in the ocean and fish all day for sturgeon, sea bass, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot. We also have Santa Cruz. We've got Oakland, Berkeley. Obviously the peninsula, where there's a lot more restaurants. You've got, obviously Google, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff down there. Very wealthy area, lots of stuff to do around here. And I'm forgetting some. Walnut Creek is another beautiful city, but there's something I'm forgetting, but whatever, there's a lot. So here's the deal. When you come out here, we obviously will be going out for lunch and for dinner, so we can check out some restaurants, whether it's a regular restaurant or a nice restaurant. To me, I would say the top two is Sausalito and Napa Valley, especially if you ever wanted to go to the wineries up in Napa Valley. It's absolutely beautiful up there, a lot of history. That's my hometown, that's where I'm from, by the way. Alright, so let me, whether you're rich, poor, tall, it doesn't matter, but there is something that matters to women. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a former friend of mine that I knew in college. His name is Johhny. We'll just leave him at that. His name is Johhny. Now, Johhny had a really, really cute, really, really sexy girlfriend. And I couldn't figure out, because I had 2 classes with Johhny. One of them was speech class. Johhny was a funny guy. He really was a loose, kind of down-to-earth guy. And the one thing about Johhny, he didn't have any worries. He was just really comfortable with himself. Oh, and by the way, during the course, we will teach you how to be more comfortable, and we will work you through that. That's part of the conditioning process that I take you through. A lot of techniques that I learned from NLP, hypnosis, and some other things. Now, Johhny was about 19, 20 years old, and here's the deal about Johhny. Johhny was fat. He just had a belly. He looked pregnant, just flat out pregnant. Johhny was short. Johhny was about 5'5". Maybe 5'6". I don't think so. Johhny had a big long nose and he had short legs. He was just an awkward, stumpy, lumpy kind of dude. He had a shitty haircut. But man, every time we went to lunch, we had college together, so every time we'd go to lunch, everyone knew him. Everyone knew Johhny. Everyone talked to Johhny. And his girlfriend just impressed the hell out of me. Now I'm just kind of going, what's the fucking deal? So I just assumed Johhny must have a really nice sports car, and he probably comes from a wealthy family. So I kind of wrote that off that, well, yeah, some people are lucky. So one day, Johhny he bought this CD, or maybe it was in a tape still. I think it was the Jerky Boys. It was a comedy thing where the one guy was Indian, one guy was oh God, what was he, Mexican or like Hispanic, or I think no, I think it was Cuban or something like that, or Puerto Rican. And then there was a third guy, but they made this comedy thing, and it was freaking hilarious, and it was all over. So we went to his car, and he threw it in, and we just start laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. But here was the thing that I noticed: he was in this crappy, beat up, paint, sun-damaged paint car, holes in the seats, steering wheel had a chunk out of it, and I'm just like, man, I would have sworn that this guy had a nice car, especially nicer than mine. I had a much nicer car than he did. This is my exact car. Same color, same pinstripes, same year, same rims, same everything. This was my little baby. This is a 1982 280ZX. It was the anniversary edition. I think it was the 82-83 model, if I remember right. It only had 44,000 or 46,000 miles on it at this point. The car was just primo. Now, I must remind you, I'm actually, I was born late 60s and I graduated high school in 87. So right now we're in college. I think I was about 21. Yeah, I was probably 21. So it was around 1990 or 91 something. So car was fairly new. And the person I bought it through was my brother-in-law's mother, and she kept it in the garage year round. It was only allowed in the sun for 1 hour. If they were going to be out in the sun longer than that, then they would take the dad's truck, etc. So it was just a babied car. I had a job also, so I had money and stuff, and I had a nice car, and I couldn't get the bitches. I couldn't do it. So before I was at this college, I was at Chico State, and I was there for a year, and I couldn't even get a girl to go out on a date with me. It was horrible. It sucked. So here I was. I'd been single since my high school girlfriend broke up with me. She went to USC. She came from a wealthy family, by the way. And I was single since I was about 18 and a half or maybe 19. So I'd been single at this point for about 2 years. And I was just like kind of pissed. So the thing about it is, now this is me about 3 years ago and had these professional pictures taken. So I'm a good looking guy. I was always in shape. Like back then I was probably benching probably about 315. You know, I was a captain of the high school, nationally ranked high school football team. We're section champions. I went to the state championship in wrestling. So I was the captain of the wrestling team too, and state champion in boxing. And I just, it's like you would think, well, that's the kind of guy that gets the girls. Unfortunately, no. What I'm about to tell you is going to shock you. So my high school girlfriend, now this is the part that's going to shock you, but the only reason why she dated me is because she couldn't get any other guys. I was the only boyfriend, and she was desperately looking for a boyfriend. And I was single all through high school. When I knew this girl liked me, I was like, hell yeah! I jumped on the first one I could get. Now here's the deal. The reason why I took these professional pictures and started buying expensive ketone dress jackets and dress shirts, etc., was not for women. It's for you, for guys, because you guys are highly visual. If it's not visual, if it's not about money, you guys like, well, you must not be any good, which is total bullshit. So here's the point. Women are not visual. Her mating system is not connected to her eyes like the male. The male mating system connects to the optic nerve, which connects to the eyes. That's why men are fucking visual. But women are not. Women are connected to the right brain, which is the relationship and social brain. So when a man shows right brain social skills, all of a sudden she's like, whoa, what's going on here? So right now, as I'm talking about this and talking about my friend Johhny in college, now this was a junior college, by the way, in speech class, I remember that the speech teacher, absolutely, she hated me, but she made sure that I got on the argument debate team because I was actually really, really good student. I was really good at argument debate. But at the same time, she just fucking hated me. It was really confusing. Like, she really recruited me. Johhny and I had speech 1 together. That was the other class. So this was argument and debate. And yet, she just absolutely hated talking to me. And I was just like, I was fucking confused. Like, what the fuck? Why is she such a bitch? I'm sorry for cussing, but she was a bitch to me. But when it came to Johhny, said, oh, Johhny, how you doing? Now, Johhny basically would have flunked a class, except for the fact that she liked Johhny. Didn't want to have sex with Johhny. At least I don't think she did. I don't know. But socially, she liked Johhny. She passed Johhny. Dude, he skipped so many classes. It was unbelievable. I can't believe she fucking passed him. But everybody liked Johhny. All the girls liked Johhny. So you want to know what Johhny's secret was? So, okay, the best way to do this is to explain it. So one day Johhny invited, not just one day, but a few times, he invited me over to his house, and I met his mother. And we're in the house, and she's like, Johhny, blah, 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 blah. And Johnny's like, yeah, whatever. He'd yell back, like one of those kind of families. They were Italian, loud. And I never met the dad. The dad never came out of the room, or he's always at work or something. I never met the dad, but the mom clearly was the head of the household, man. It was obvious. And here's the thing, though. She treated Johhny like he was a fucking king. So she might request that Johhny would do something, but he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like, he didn't, his mother, just whatever he wanted is what he got. And I was like, God, what a spoiled little fucking brat. Because, oh yeah, by the way, I assumed Johhny probably came from a rich family. Even after I saw his beat up car, I thought, well, maybe he's just one of those lazy dudes. I don't know. Because I couldn't figure out how he got this really, really good looking girl in college. And it was just like, and I couldn't get a girl to even go on a fucking date with me. So I'm looking at their house. That it was run down. It's probably lower middle class, I would say. I wouldn't say poor, but I would say just making the lower middle class rank, right? So they didn't have much money. It was the whole reason why Johhny was going to junior college, because he couldn't afford to send him to a state school. And so here's what it is. I already kind of gave it away. Johhny was spoiled rotten. He got his way. And that was the one thing that as a man, because I'd always worked really hard for football practice, the brutality of the pain, the suffering, the dedication, the discipline, the lifting of the weights. And at the time I was in kickboxing. So I was always a hard fucking worker. And I was also working while I was going to college, installing carpet and vinyl floors, etc. So doing floor work. Very hard work. And here Johhny didn't have a job. He was fucking lazy, didn't do his homework, barely showed up to class. He just showed up to class when he was in the mood. And when we were in the car, that car that one day, that's what he fucking... I go, dude, I don't understand. How the fuck did you pass speech class when you were barely fucking there? He goes, I don't know. He goes, the only reason why I go is when I'm in the mood. I just, he goes, I just happened to wake up that morning. I just showed up to class. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I don't really give a shit. Here's what it is. I realized that guys whose mothers doted on them, who were treated like a king, who were spoiled, who got their way, they became very selfish. Now, as a man, at least in the Western world, you think, well, that's just fucked up. Like, there's no respect there. But women respect the fuck out of it. Now, you know how in all the videos I keep talking about right brain, the internal awareness? The left brain is the external brain. It's the rule-oriented brain. That means you're listening to someone else tell you what to do, to tell you what the rules are. Women are not attracted to guys who look external. And I'm going to give you an example, so you'll be like, well, what do you mean? Because you do it all the time, but you don't even know you're doing it. Alright, so when I went to Hawaii, we did this 5-week training where it was all about this internal awareness stuff, okay? They didn't call it that, but I realized later from a Buddhist monk that's what it was. But we went over all these different techniques that brought us internal, so we could think for ourselves. The right brain is the self brain. So when women are saying, I'm looking for a man who's a self-led man, she means a man that does what in NLP we call, or hypnosis, we call it an internal check. So when I came back from this training, I got a really distinct contrast experience with, I actually lived with my friend from high school, Greg. Now this is about a year before this Johhny thing, okay? Or actually, you know what, this might have been about the same time, actually. Yeah, it was actually, now that I think about it. Okay, yeah, I was living there. Okay, so this was after the Johhny thing. So what happened was, my buddy Greg would say things and ask a question, and I used to just just stare at him like a dog, literally like a fucking dog, looking up at him, and I would just respond instantly or wait for his response and what he thought. That's called being external. But internal, what I noticed was I would kind of look at him and then kind of look down and to the right or down into the left, and then I'd look back up at him, and I'd look down to the right, to the left. I remember at one point he got fucking pissed off, and he's just like, oh god, he walked away, and I was like, the fuck's his problem? And then I tuned in real quick, because I was like, oh shit, I'm not doing that external shit that he's used to. He used to kind of lead me around, so to speak. And I was this way with everyone. So here I was, captain of the football team, wrestling team, state champion of boxing, current at that time, ranked number 1 in the nation in kickboxing. But I was this fucking external follower, dude. And this is the thing that you guys don't understand. See, you think that by bench pressing 365, which I did, being a champion in kickboxing and boxing and wrestling and all this bullshit, and even I'm a fairly good looking dude, okay? That was me in that picture just a moment. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. So this is me right here. This was about 8 or 10 years ago. I'm a good looking guy. So here's the, blonde, blue, and all that bullshit, right? And you would think, now obviously at this point in time, I figured it out. This is when I was in the pickup scene and I had it fucking nailed. Now in high school and college, I was the athlete, I was the captain, I was, very popular and all those things. But I couldn't fucking get a girl because I was this external dude. Now in this image, I'm more internal. You can see it in the eyes, but I'll have to teach you. In the girl on my lap, she's very internal. Her awareness is into her body. So my point is this: my high school girlfriend basically was irritated by me because I was so fucking external. Okay, let me tell you this. So here's the deal: because a lot of guys are like, yeah, but you're lucky because you're good looking. I'm telling you that counts for fucking 1%, 1 point out of 100, and that's it. And I'll give you an example. So let's take high school when I was at the peak of everything. Girls would approach me, and even their mothers and fathers would, like, even especially dads. Like I had dads because of football. We were ranked 18th, I think it was in the nation in high school football. And there was this one dad that came up to me and said, "Hey, this is my daughter, Tiffany." And I knew who Tiffany was, and the dad knew me. He knew my stats, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I just thought it was kind of weird. But then I kind of thought, yeah, actually a lot of men are into stats and stuff, whatever. But my point being is, you would think that I would be the guy that got laid like a rock star, but I fucking didn't. And here's why. So here's what would happen. You're right. That 1 point I had for looks, being in shape, being the captain of the football team, girls would walk up to me at anywhere, in high school and whatever. But the minute I opened my mouth and I did that external thing, looking external for like what do they think for approval, boom, they would literally laugh at me and fucking walk away. So here's the deal about this course. I've taken guys that were just like me. They couldn't get laid. They couldn't pick up on girls. They had a good job. And I've had clients. I live in the Bay Area, by the way, San Francisco Bay Area. I'd get these guys that'll have a master's degree from Berkeley or Stanford or whatever, and they start out a job. I had one client, he started out at the age of 22 at $180,000 a year. Now, this was about 8 years ago, and I was like, holy shit. I go, your first fucking job? He goes, yeah. He had his own condo. The dude was making bank, a good-looking guy, tall. And I remember looking at him, so what do you take my course for? He goes, dude, I cannot get a girl to go out with me. But it was the very same, well, here's the deal, though. He was a computer dude. He was I forget what company he worked for, one of the social media, like Twitter or Facebook. And he just flat out told me, he goes, dude, I'm just so, like, I don't know. The minute I open my mouth, women just don't want to talk to me. And it's the same thing I'm going to teach you guys. By the way, this is Adam laughing his ass off. I had him hypnotized. You got to be the champion, That's what I'm going to teach you how to do. Alright, so here's the deal. The right brain is the selfish brain. Have you ever noticed that women are very selfish, self-centered, and well, let me tell you one thing about the right brain. The right brain's job is to beat around the bush. The right brain's job is to figure out how to go around the rules. The left brain's job is how to follow rules. So when I open you up to this, you're going to see the total difference, and you're going to go out in public and go, dude, that guy's a total rule-oriented guy. He follows the rules. Yep, and that's a major turn up. Boom, you're done. And that's the way I was. I was this ultra Christian, by the book. I followed the rules. And I couldn't, even in fucking church, I couldn't get a fucking girlfriend. And I went to church my whole fucking life thinking that's where I'm going to get a girlfriend. Never got a girlfriend in church. They didn't want to have nothing to do with me. So what's Johhny's secret? He happened to be lucky to have a mother that spoiled him since he was a little child, which caused him to be very self-centered, because that was her whole thing. She was focused on him. So he became focused on himself on an unconscious level. Most boys are not raised that way. We're raised to focus on others, to get the job done, to follow the rules, to be a good person, and all the stuff, all of that I just said, turns women off. So what do we have to do? We got to turn it around. So literally we have to neurologically turn you around 180 degrees. This is the conditioning factor that we work you through the course over and over and over and over. And when you pop out of this course, when you go home, you're going to suddenly realize like, whoa, I'm totally different. Like you're going to react and interact with people completely differently. This is a mastery course. This is not a quick, learn to memorize a line, a pickup line. If you're looking for that, go somewhere else. This course, you're going to have to put in the time, the effort, and the work. But the payoff is phenomenal. All right, guys, click subscribe, click that like button, go ahead and make a comment, and buy my book, Crack the Female Code. That's the next step. All right, guys, see you in the next video. Bye.